Hey everyone, welcome back to another Mattel Jurassic World Dominion review. Today we're going to take a look at the new Raw Strikers, Liopleurodon. So some of you might have noticed I took a little unannounced break from the channel. I think it's been 10 days since I posted the last review. I was on vacation last week with my wife, so I decided, you know what, I'm just going to take a step back from the channel, clear my head, just have some fun and not worry about, posting reviews and, feeding that algorithm. So I had a really nice week. It was my wife's birthday. We celebrated together. I went to an incredibly shitty dinosaur exhibit. It's probably one of the worst animatronics I've ever seen. And I ended the week completely blacking out at a Yankee game. So it was a great vacation. And now I'm back to it. And the subject of today's review is this new Mattel Liopleurodon. Now I'm getting this figure from Amazon. It retails for just over $16. They're also shipping from Big Bad Toy Store, so I'll leave a link to both sites down below in the description. And they're actually showing up in stores right now. I think the only store that they're being found in is currently Kohl's. So if you want to find one in stores, Kohl's is your best bet to track down this new Raw Strikers wave. So let's go over the package really quick before we take a closer look at this figure. You got Rexy right here, Jurassic World Dominion logo. You got the nighttime sky with the helicopter. Front and center is the Liopleurodon. Spinning around, get a picture of how the Raw Striker action works on this figure. And over here are the other figures in this wave. We have the previously reviewed Mega Raptor and Iguanodon. I am not getting the Sinoceratops. The paint apps are just so basic bitch on that figure, and I have the previous two Sinoceratops, which have far superior paint apps, so I am not going to waste my money on those. And plus, I think somewhere down the line, we're probably going to get a Hammond Collection Sino. So enough about the packaging. Let's crack this figure open and take a closer look. And just like all the rest of the Raw Strikers, tail comes unattached in the packaging. You're just going to push it in to here, click, one-time assembly. Once it's in, it's not coming back out. And let's start with a nice 360-degree view of the Liopleurodon. It's always refreshing to see a marine reptile added to the Jurassic World collection. It doesn't happen often, but when it does, it is cause for celebration because this is a really great toy. I'm surprised by how much I like it. It's definitely one of my favorites of this new wave of Raw Strikers. Actually, out of all the Raw Strikers, the Mega Raptor is still first, and the Liopleurodon is definitely second. Just a really well done figure. And for those of you that grew up in the 90s and watched Walking with Dinosaurs, Liopleurodon made a big splash on the public back then. In the documentary, it was a grossly oversized. The animal was not that big, but we'll get into that very shortly when we do measurements. But all around, a really great figure. Love the flippers on it. The tail even has a little fluke on the side. The action feature works great. Just love how big and wide the mouth can open. Whole figure is just painted a dark gray color with that counter shading of white on the underbelly and just a couple splashes of brown on the back. So the color scheme works really great on this figure, and I'm quite enjoying it. And now for some quick measurements. This figure is 12 inches long from the tip of the snout to the tip of the tail, or 30.5 centimeters. And just measuring the body is about 2 inches tall, or about 5 centimeters. Obviously, you can display the figure with the flippers like this, which greatly extends the height. So Liopleurodon in real life was around 21 feet long, or 6.4 meters. So I put this figure in the 1/21 scale range. Now, if you remember me talking about Walking with Dinosaurs, Liopleurodon back in the 90s was grossly exaggerated to about 82 feet long. So yes, the animal was a lot smaller than we initially realized. And now let's zoom and take a look at some of the finer details on this figure, starting with the head sculpt. Really nicely done head on this figure. My favorite part is the glossy black eye. It just gives this figure that soulless predator look, kind of like the great white shark. Very nice touch. You have some nice large scales for the lower jaw. Lower jaw is cast in white plastic. You see the nostrils sculpted in over here. The teeth are all different sizes, and they are painted that off-white color. Inside the mouth, the tongue, roof, and the gums are all done in a nice glossy red color. Accidentally activated the roaring mechanism on it. Looking at the top, you can see actually no, those are the nostrils. Why did I point over there? You see the nostrils are clearly sculpted on the top of the head. Some nice fine scale detail going down to the neck. The whole body is just cast in this dark gray color. We do have a little bit of brown markings to break up all that gray. Some large scales poking out here and there. It does have some nice texture in, but it does kind of give the overall smooth look that, you know, most likely these ocean-going animals probably had. You get some nice scars on the very, very long front flippers, some more large scales popping up here or there just to add some nice texture in. On the underside, you do have this nice coat of white to give it some nice counter shading. You know, if you're looking up in the water and Liopleurodon was colored white like this, you have a tough time seeing the outline. Looking at it from above, same thing. The dark coloration would blend in with the darker waters below the animal. Going down to the hind legs, some more of that nice scar, and very well detailed figure. Much nicer than I thought it was going to be just from the promo pictures. Just really like how it turned out. Got a nice little fluke for the short tail. So yeah, all around, very cool looking figure. Let's get the camera to focus in on it. It was a very much a surprise when they announced they were doing a Liopleurodon. Like I said, you know, Mattel doesn't do a lot of marine reptiles, and they're very far and few between. So this was a very welcome surprise when they announced it. And now for articulation, all the flippers are on a hinge. You can extend them out, and they will swing up just a little bit above the body. Each one can do a full 360 degrees. Same thing with the back flippers. You can get a little bit more upward movement with the black flippers. And, you know, just looking at this thing from the side, the profile on the figure is just really nice with all the posability you can get out of these flippers. And for the rest of this figure, actually, before I forget, because I almost forgot about it, let's do the scan code. That does not want to come out. So here it is for those of you that want to scan this into the fax app. Come on, camera, zoom. So there we go, zoom in, there we go. Make it easier for everyone watching so that they can scan this into the app. And now moving on to action features. All you have to do is there's a button on its back. It's a little bit different than the other Raw Strikers. The other Raw Strikers used to have push on the back and just activated the mechanism. This one actually has a dedicated button, which, you know, for these new Raw Strikers is the only figure right now that actually has a button on it. And what you want to do is just push the button, and it will cause the neck to lower and the mouth to open, and you activate some electronic roars. So very cool. All those sound pretty new to me. I don't know if there's like a raptor growl mixed in with those sound effects, but yeah, it works. Fun figure. Action feature works great. Really like this thing. And moving on with comparisons. First up, here it is with the Hammond Collection Alan Grant. And next, here it is with the Dimetrodon. And next, here it is with its wave mates, the Iguanodon and Megaraptor. And next, here it is with the very few marine reptiles in the Mattel line, the Mosasaur and the Plesiosaurus. So the Liopleurodon is definitely another welcome addition to the very small collection of marine reptiles in the line. And next up, here it is with the old toy Walking with Dinosaurs Liopleurodon. And next, here it is with the massive action Impellosaurus. And lastly, here it is with Dominion Rexy. Normally I'd be using my Hammond Collection T-Rex, but she's currently on a vacation visiting a friend. I should have her back probably in a week or so. So final thoughts on the new Liopleurodon. This figure was a welcome addition, and I'm just surprised by how much I like it. It's a very well done figure. Action feature works great. You got a nice range of motion with the flippers. The only downside I can see with this figure is that it has, you know, electronic sounds, and, you know, these toys are meant for kids. You know, a lot of adult collectors collect them, yes, but they're initially designed for kids, and you know a kid's gonna want to take this in the bathtub and play with it, and it's just gonna mess up those electronics. So that's like the only downside I could see with the figure. Maybe they'll just release a version that just has a simple action feature and no electronics on it, so a kid, you know, can play with it without breaking their toys or, you know, get electrocuted. But other than that, I think it's a great addition to the line. I wasn't, you know, expecting to like it this much. It's definitely my second favorite behind the Megaraptor. And yeah, like I said earlier in the review, I ended up getting this from Amazon. Link is down below in the description. Same thing, link to Big Bad Toy Store. And if you want to find it in stores right now, Kohl's is the place if you want to hunt down this wave in stores. So that will do it for the review. I should have some more new figures coming in. I think my Amber Collection Ceratosaurus shipped from Amazon. So I should have that in a couple days. And maybe possibly some early reviews from Beast of the Mesozoic. So keep an eye on the channel for all that fun stuff. And as always, if you're enjoying the content on this channel, show your support by hitting that subscription button just below the video. Each subscription helps out the channel tremendously and is greatly appreciated. And I'll see you guys for the next one.